Hello everyone, I am live at the southernmost point of Taiwan. You can see the sea behind me. I thought it would be a good time to get on and do a live video, but unfortunately my microphone has ran out of battery, so I'm using the mic on my phone. Just had a little hike through the forest. Got my North Face shoes on. So yeah, here it is, the southernmost point of Taiwan. And let's get into the message as I walk back. Is the narcissist happier without you? I'm sure that's a question many of you have. Because when they were with you, it's like you couldn't do anything right. Nothing you did was good enough. And you may have gone to the ends of the earth in an effort to please them, in an effort to try to make them happy. Because that's what we're like as empaths. We don't want anyone to be miserable. We want people to feel happy, just like we do. But it seemed like no matter what you did, the narcissist was never happy with you. And that's not to say that you weren't good enough. I mean, no one can be good enough for a narcissist anyway. They can never be satisfied. But they do typically target the best of the best. They don't want to be around anyone who they think is garbage. If they think someone is no good, they're going to be running in the opposite direction, as anyone would. But with us, they manipulated us, they gave us the illusion, and we thought it was something else. We thought we were looking at something of value, something real. But it wasn't real at all. It was a facade. They made themselves out to be something, and then we later found out that's not what they were at all. It was a mirage. They sold you a dream. They just wanted to get around you so that they could use you for their own needs, so that they could feel better about themselves. It wasn't to give anything to you or to build a relationship with you. Narcissists do not care about relationships. That means nothing to them. All they care about is transactions. And for them, the transaction has to be one way. So they have to be getting something from you. And preferably, they'd prefer it if you're not getting anything from them. So that it keeps you down, it keeps you questioning yourself. You feel like there's something wrong with you. And then that makes you stay down. It makes you stay under their spell, under their control. If they're constantly draining you, and they're not reciprocating, instead they're lying to you and future faking. They're putting your dreams far ahead in the future. This dream that they sold to you. And you just end up wasting years of your life. Your life just passes you by. as I've heard from some of my clients, there's victims who have lost 50 years of their life stuck with a narcissist who sold them a dream. And they could have spent their life doing something else, around someone who valued and appreciated them, someone who could have brought out the best in them, instead of just keeping them down. And of course, this is where it really gets people. The way that nothing you did was ever good enough for them. Even if you exceeded their expectations, they would move the goalposts. No matter what you did, they were never happy with you. But at the same time, although you may never have noticed it, they weren't even given a fraction of what you were giving to them. You were putting out 1,000,000 times more value than you were getting in return. And yet they were the ones who were never happy with you. Or so they portrayed. And yet then they discard you. They cut you off. And then they run off with their new supply. They posted it on social media. And they're making it look like their lives are now so much better without you. They're making it look like they're so much happier now. But in actuality, I can tell you that it is all a facade. It doesn't matter what you see on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok. It doesn't matter. It is all a mirage. And you just got to think, you really think that someone could have been so miserable and dissatisfied with you, but then somehow they can just leave you behind, and overnight they're so much happier with someone else, as they want you to think. Of course, that's not possible. They can't just change overnight. If they were like that with you for months or even years, it takes a lot of work. It takes time. Even for myself, I didn't become the man that you see today overnight. It took a lot of work. It took a long time of building myself up. I had to do the work from within. Little cat here. Unfortunately, I left the cat treats in the car. Ow! I feel bad now. I should have brought the treats. If I could get the cat to follow me to the car, that would be good. Because I got some treats in there. Anyway, yeah, it is all a facade. Just look back at your relationship with them. Remember when they first targeted you? Do you remember all of these lies that they told you? They lied about their qualities and abilities. They told you they were this, they were that, as though they were everything that you had been looking for, everything that you had been waiting for. It's like they just popped up out of nowhere, and suddenly they were that. And then they created this sense of urgency. And because they portray themselves as our soulmate, as this person that we've been waiting for, with the sense of urgency, we were all in. We were like, okay, I accept it, I believe, let's go. Because we didn't want to lose it. Maybe we had an experience in the past and we really wanted to be with someone, but at that time we weren't all in. Maybe we weren't ready, maybe we needed some time, and maybe we regretted that experience, that potential relationship. And these narcissists will play on that as well. They will come along and create this sense of urgency. And then you're ready to just do it now. And that's when they've got you. They lie to you about who they are, their qualities, their abilities. They give you this false impression, this deceptive outward appearance. They don't tell you too much about themselves. They only tell you the good parts. And one thing they never do is they never can tell you where they have overcome something and accomplished something. They can never do that. It's always just, they're just right here, right now, they're there. What you've been waiting for. So now you need to be ready. You've got to be ready to go. And many of us, we fall for it. We get manipulated. And then we're waiting, wondering, when is this thing going to actualize? When is it going to turn into something real? Because we're doing all of the work and they're just sitting around. It's costing us our time, our money, our energy. And they're just sitting around, lazing around, not doing anything, not putting in the work, as though they're just taking us for granted, as though they don't really care. And then when you press them and confront them, what do? They go to the future faking. They tell you just to wait around for some point in the future. Well, they're typically living for free. Maybe you're paying the rent, you're paying all of the bills, you're doing all of the work, and they're not having to lift a finger. And at the same time, while you're doing everything for them, they're always so miserable. They're never happy. They're never happy with anything you do, no matter what you do. And I can tell you, there's really no limit. There's really no extreme. No matter what you do for them, no matter how much you accomplish, it's never going to be enough, because they have a void within themselves. But they trick you. Because they are experts at manipulation, They have been manipulating people their entire lives. So they know how to create a story, an illusion, because that was always their means to survive. That is how they got by in life. They wouldn't have got anywhere without doing that. I mean, just look at how they were with you. They manipulated you, they gave you this false character. If they didn't do that and you knew exactly what they were from the beginning, you would have left straight away. You wouldn't have waited around for them. And it is the same thing. Even when it looks like they've moved on to this other relationship, it's exactly the same. It doesn't change. It's just more manipulation. And at the same time, they're triangulating you and they're trying to use it to hurt you so that they don't feel regrets, and it makes it more believable for them, to make them think that they made the right decision, when in fact they just messed everything up. And potentially a lot of times they threw away their lives. They threw away something that could have been good for them, because you were there for them no matter what. You would have done anything for them. You cared about them. More cats here. I saw this one on the way down. I don't think I've seen this one before though. I don't know if they're stray cats, but surprisingly they do look quite healthy. Yeah, it really is all an illusion. Everything you're seeing, it is all fake. As I've said before, everything they do is manipulation. Everything. It doesn't matter if they are manipulating and love bombing you. It doesn't matter if they are devaluing and discarding you, triangulating you, starting a smear campaign against you. It's all an illusion. Both the Dr. Jekyll side of them and the Mr. Hyde. Both sides of them are fake. So no matter what you see, it isn't real. The only thing that is real is the abuse and the devaluation that you might see later on when they start to get bored of the new supply, which they almost always will, unless they've managed to find a codependent, someone who has no boundaries, no identity, no sense of self, or they lack one at least. It's not that strong. Someone who is a doormat, a fool, kind of like what we were to them in the beginning. That's why they stuck with us for a certain amount of time. But then when you start to catch on, you start to figure them out, that's when they're ready to jump ship onto the new source. Because they believe they found someone who they deem to be a bigger fool. Someone who is going to be more susceptible to their manipulation. And that's all they really care about, above everything else. Are you going to believe their lies or not? Are you going to believe their story? That is the main trait that they look for. someone who is trustworthy. They believe that they are credible. They believe what is being shown to them. Because if you believe, if you trust, then they've got you hooked. They've got you wrapped around their thumb. And then they know that you're not going anywhere. As soon as you start to experience disbelief, you become distrustful. You no longer believe in their credibility. Then they're out of there. They're gone. And in some cases, you may never see them again. They don't want to be around anyone who knows exactly who they are. Someone who doesn't fall for the lies and future faking. You need to be susceptible to their manipulation. And when they move on, and they find someone who is susceptible, then in that moment, I wouldn't say that they're happy, but it does feel better for them than it did with you. Because at least now they've got someone who believes in their lies and manipulation, someone who believes in their story. And as I said, that's all that they really care about. That's really like the most important thing to a narcissist. Because then they have something to work with. If you don't even believe in their lies, and you're not waiting around with their future faking, that is no good for them. They want to be around people who believe, people who fall for their lies, so that they can create this false reality and it supports their false character. They can create this illusion and get supply from you as well. And it's like, as long as they're able to post these pictures and flaunt their new supply, and they know that you're looking at it, it's sending them energy. It makes them feel alive. Because as I said before, they experience everything vicariously through other people. So that's why they do that. That's why they triangulate. But that does not mean that they are happier without you. They're still miserable. They're still dissatisfied. It may look like they're happy as long as you're watching. But if you had a chance to catch them off guard, you would see what they're really like. You would see it. I mean, it's not like how we are. Like myself, I would say that yes, I am consistently happy pretty much every day. That's like my normal base of emotion is joy. As long as I'm not around toxic people. Of course, I don't always show it. I'm not smiling and laughing all of the time. Especially when I'm coming on here and giving you this message. But even right now, even though I'm discussing quite a serious topic, that does not mean that I am not happy right now. And I'm sure many of you can relate to that. I'm sure many of you, most days you do feel joy. You have a lot of energy as long as you're not around them. And of course, again, that is why they targeted you. They do want to be around people who have energy, but not for too long, because that energy has the power to overwhelm them, and they envy it. It reminds them that they're not like that. So then it's just all about trying to compete with you or triangulating you with someone else to try and keep you down vibrationally. Remember, what they're trying to take from you, it's something that they don't have. So the simple answer to this question is, of course, no. The narcissist is not happier without you. They do not experience consistent happiness and joy like we do, as long as we're not around toxic people, of course. For them, it's predominantly negative emotions. And you just got to think how a person treats you is a direct reflection of how they feel about themselves. They can't give you something that they don't already possess. So they're projecting these emotions onto you. And that's why it's very good if you do have someone you trust, someone you can talk to, a therapist, a coach, or even just this community, where you can express these things, these emotions that they have projected onto you, so that you can release them and disidentify with them by knowing that they do not belong to you. They were given to you by a toxic person. But for them, they experience mostly negative emotions. They're always miserable. Just remember, when they were with you, nothing you did could ever make them happy. And they just projected that all onto you. And they still do that as well, even when they run off with their new supply. They triangulate you with this new person. So even then, they're still trying to hurt you. And you just got to think. I mean, I know for myself, if I am in a new relationship with someone and I'm genuinely happy with them, I'm having a good time, the last thing I'm going to be thinking about is my ex. They're not even going to cross my mind. I'm going to be too busy having fun in my new relationship. I'm not going to be thinking about the past. I'm not going to be trying to hurt someone. Happy people do not do that. At this moment, of course, I am single. I'm not with anyone right now. But of course, yes, I've had many relationships in the past. That's how I've got so much experience to talk about this. And I just remember past relationships where I left a narcissist, and then I found someone who maybe I thought they weren't narcissistic in the beginning. And in that moment, I just wasn't thinking about the narcissist at all. I wasn't thinking about getting revenge or hurting them. I've never thought that way when I'm with someone. I've never desired to make anyone envious or jealous of my relationship. I've just never thought that way, because I can find fulfillment in a relationship, as I'm sure many of you can as well. So we just don't do these types of things. But narcissists will do that because they can never be satisfied. It doesn't matter who they're with. They could be with a supermodel, a celebrity. It wouldn't make a difference. They would still just use them as a trophy, an object, to try to make other people envious or jealous, because that's how they think. And then they can live vicariously through other people. So that's all that is. When people can't experience fulfillment in something, then they try to get other people involved, and they try to irritate them and try to make them envious. I've never been that way at all. I've always been more inclusive, because I have space. Narcissists do not have space. They are full of themselves. And even then, it's just what they steal from other people. They're never giving anything out. And they have no desire to give anything as well. So there's just never anything there. They're just constantly trying to fill this void. But they can never be satisfied. But yes, they're definitely not happy with their new source. If they're still trying to hurt you, if they're even still thinking about you. I know myself in my past relationships. When I was in a relationship, I was never thinking about anyone else. I was only thinking about that person that I was with. As long as I was happy in the relationship. But I am single right now. I'm not actually with anyone. I am just more focused on my traveling. As you can see in pretty much every video I put up, I'm always exploring, I'm always looking around, just looking for new things to see. And especially since I came to Taiwan, dating and relationships have really been the last thing on my mind. I'm not really interested in Taiwanese women. It was never really on the top of my list for someone to date. This is just somewhere I've kind of stopped off on the way to another country. And actually, I only came here because it was a bit too expensive for me to go to Hong Kong. So I saw online that Taiwan is cheaper, so I came here. So yeah, not really interested in Taiwanese women. I haven't really seen any women here that I've decided to talk to or that I'm attracted to. I don't really know too much about the culture. But from what I've seen, a lot of the women here, they do seem to seek quite a lot of attention, especially from me as well. But I'm just not into that kind of thing. Many of you will know I am quite a traditional man. I don't really like party girls, women who are looking for tons of attention, women who are around loads of men. I like a girl who is more quiet, shy, even submissive. A girl who listens, cooperates. That's more my kind of thing. So that's why, yes, I am alone, traveling alone. Because I'm just not interested in Taiwanese women. I'm really not. I mean, if I was, then I would have made some level of effort at this point. Of course, there are some women that I am very interested in. I am a straight man, so of course. And as I said, I have had plenty of relationships in the past. Probably more than most men, and that is why I do have a lot of experience. But I really do enjoy the traveling. Taiwan is a very beautiful country. I've seen a lot of amazing things here. I've traveled all over the country. I've had some amazing experiences, some first-time experiences as well. So overall, yes, it is a really beautiful country. So much to see. And I would highly recommend it if you're looking to travel in Asia. Now I am actually on my way back to the north of Taiwan. I'm going to book my flight to my next destination. But I do hope that this information has been helpful to you. I know it's not fun when you've given someone your life, you put in so much effort into a relationship, and they just disregard you. They don't reciprocate or give anything back. And then they just get rid of you. And they move on to someone else. They act like they're so much happier now after everything you did for them that was never appreciated. Just makes you feel like you're no good. That's exactly how it makes us feel, isn't it? But that's the thing. Yes, we were no good. No good for them. They need to be with someone who is more like themselves. But we can be good for someone else. Someone far greater. Yes, we can be good for them. And we won't have to deal with all of the games, all of the lies, the manipulations, the future faking, all of the nonsense, all of the bullshit. Let someone else deal with that. Let them post these pictures and flaunt their supply. Let them do what they want, because deep down we know the truth. We know exactly what they're really like. We know they're still going through something. That's why they're posting these pictures and trying to hurt you, because they're hurt, and hurt people hurt people. Just don't let them hurt you anymore. You've been through enough. You deserve better. And you've got us. You've got this community now. You've got this support. And we are with you no matter what. We are always on your side. We will always be there for you. Let the narcissist move on. and live their best life. Or should I say their best lie? Because that's what it really is. It is all a lie. It is a joke. And in fact, when you see these stupid pictures, you should be laughing at it. I hope you found this video helpful. I hope it provides you with comfort and relief after everything that you have been through. And if it does, you can show your support by giving this video a thumbs up down below. It's very important, as it will help the YouTube algorithm, and it will get this message out there so that other survivors will see it. And then they will finally understand the truth of what is really going on, and how the narcissist is a fraud, a con artist. It's like they're trying to sell you a product and they don't even have it. It's not even real. So you're never going to get it. The news source is never going to get it because they don't even have it. All they've got is just a promotion, an advertisement. That's all they have. As I've said before, the best you'll ever get from them is an illusion. Remember to hit the subscribe button as well so that you will receive the notifications for my future videos, and also click the bell icon. Thank you all for your support. And as always, I look forward to talking with you in another live video very soon.